Hello, my fellow cigar smokers, and welcome to Smoker Spot. Today, we want to talk about cigars and neighbors. Stay tuned. So, if you are smoking for a while, and with a while, I mean probably longer than a month or two, the chances are very high that you have at least one neighbor who is complaining about you are smoking cigars or the smoke in general or whatever. You always have this one guy or this one lady who's a real pain in the ass. And well, me, smoking for roughly over 30 years, developed a few strategies on how to deal with these kind of people. But before we're talking about the different strategies you can have, we need to talk about these people, these neighbors. Why are they doing this? Why are they complaining about you are smoking cigars? Most of the time, I figured it's not really about the cigar, or it's not really about the smoke. These kind of people, they're they're not very happy for whatever reason, and they're constantly complaining about shit. If it's not the cigar, it's your kids are playing too loud, the party you're doing in the garden is too late, your barbecue stinks, you're washing your car at Sundays, whatever. It's not the cigar. It's just their life that they are not happy with, and they're laying their frustration upon you. So they're leaving their stress and their unhappiness out, and you are just the right person because right now you are smoking. You have to understand that, and then you know how these people, how they are working, you know. So, what to do with these kind of people? As always in life, there's more than one way dealing with these people. One way I figured is sometimes very effective is ignoring. They can talk whatever they want, they can say whatever they want, they can yell, whatever, just ignore them. I mean, not even reacting to their complaints is a very good strategy. If you are, well, persistent enough, that can work. But there are two kind of neighbors. There, the one group is these, I call them like passive aggressive. They are not confronting you directly and complaining about your cigars. For example, I have this one lady in my neighborhood. She's like, I don't know, 50 or 60, something like this. And I'm living in my house. I have a garden, so in the summer I'm sitting very often in my garden and smoking a cigar, or two, or three, or four, whatever. Buddies coming over, we're smoking together. And what she's doing is, because at the border of my garden there's like a path that is like 2 meters broad, and there's her house. So what she's doing is, when I'm smoking, like I I start smoking, and it's like not even 5 minutes later, I hear her yelling, not to me, to herself. She's yelling something like, "Oh man, it stinks again," whatever, and then she slams the window. That's all she's doing, all the time. She never comes to me and talking to me about my cigars or whatever. In 99% of the case, I had one occasion where we were talking about it very briefly. We were just walking together to the bakery or so, and then she said something. It was the only time. But usually she's this passive-aggressive person who's not confronting you directly, but just dealing with herself, and hopes that her anger is swapping over to you and you're changing something. But how I am, so if you're not talking to me directly, if you're not asking me something, if you're not saying me something, I'm not reacting because you're not talking to me. If you're talking to yourself, it's your own problem. So you have to talk to me. So that's the one group of neighbors you can have. The other group is they're confronting you. They're coming to your fence when you have your garden and they're saying, can you stop smoking? You're getting on my nerves. It stinks. My husband has lung cancer. You're not allowed to smoke. That's reality. I had one neighbor who were telling me that her husband had lung cancer. No, I mean, it's bad, but it's not my problem, right? And I don't think that when her house is like 50 meters away, that the smoke of my cigar is having any effect on his health. So it's not really about the sickness. It's like I said, it's the people itself. So we have these two groups of people, of neighbors. With the first one, like these passive aggressive ladies and guys, just ignore them. If you can do that, don't talk to them, let them yell, I don't care. And that's fine. If you're persistent enough, if you can do that for a long time. With the second group, they are confronting you. Well, you can still ignore them if you want to, but when they're standing at your fence or knocking at your door, it's kind of hard to ignore them when they're yelling at you, right? Best thing you can do is stay cool. Tell them it's your right, it's your garden, or it's your apartment, or whatever. You can do whatever you want. If they don't like it, they can complain at the landlord or whatever, but this will not happen. Even if they complain, even if they are calling the landlord, if it's not your own house or your own apartment, there's nothing what he or she can do, you know. You have to know your rights. You know, these people, they were fighting like 20 years that we are not longer allowed to smoke inside of a pub or a restaurant or whatever. They were fighting for it desperately. And now they realize that we are not longer allowed to smoke inside somewhere, except it's a lounge or a special place. So what I'm always saying is then to these people, you know, if you don't like it, go inside. If you don't like it, shut your window. If you don't like it, close your door. Man, you were fighting that I was not longer allowed to smoke inside, so fuck off. Close your door. Go inside. Be nice. No need to be... It's not necessary to be aggressive, you know. Stay calm, be cool, tell them what is your right, that you are right, that they are wrong. If they don't like it, you don't care. You can say it in a nice way, and usually that's working out. In the past, I had a couple of neighbors who weren't like this. They were coming to me like 3-4 times, but after the 5th or 6th time, and they saying, well, it's a waste of time. We cannot talk to this guy because he's crazy. So, and if that kind of craziness, what it is, I like to be crazy. Before I was living in the house I'm living now, was living in an apartment on the basement, and I lived in a house that has like 3 or 4 floors in total. So she was living under the roof. I was living in the basement. When I was smoking, I had a little garden, really tiny. Well, it was nice. It was enough to sit there having a barbecue there and have 1 or 2 chairs. So really tiny, but it was cool. So when I started smoking there, like after 10 minutes, she was coming from under the roof. She was coming down to me, knocking at my door and telling me, are you smoking again? I can smell that. Your smoke is flowing directly from the basement in my window. Was fucking crazy. I told her, well, I don't think that this is possible, and 3 other neighbors are living between us and nobody's complaining, only you. And I mean, I'm in the summer, I'm not sitting inside my apartment with like 100 degrees and smoking there just because you have the feeling that the smoke is flowing inside your window. I will smoke in my garden. And man, she was doing that like 20 times. she was very persistent. At least I have to benefit that for her. Um, but there was no result, you know. She was coming down, was telling me, and I said, you know, I'm really sorry, but I cannot change it. I will keep on smoking. And then she said something like, you know, can we have a deal? Like, you let me know when you are smoking, and then I can close my windows. And then when you stop smoking, you let me know again, and then I can open my windows again. I mean, in theory that's possible, but I don't know how you are smoking. But when I'm smoking, I smoke when I have the feeling that I want to smoke right now, and I don't want to address that before I'm smoking, and not at a specific time. When I want to smoke, I smoke. So with these kind of people, there's probably no final result that you can achieve. So we have these two group of neighbors, and we have this ignoring strategy. We have the talking strategy. You're talking to them, calm, easy. Maybe it will have a result. Some chances are high that they will give up sooner or later. If not, you have to endure it. You know, that's the way it is. If you want to keep on smoking in your apartment, in your garden, and you have these kind of people around you, keep on smoking, keep on doing your thing. It will not change. They will come over. You will say, I'm sorry, goodbye, and that's it. No. Um, Another strategy, especially with these passive aggressive people, if they are getting on your nerves and they destroying like an atmosphere and you're not feeling good when you're smoking because they are passive aggressive and they're giving you a bad feeling, that can happen. Um, Another good strategy I figured is confronting them. If they are passive aggressive and never talking to you, go over to them, knock at their door, and then, I have the feeling that you don't like it when I'm smoking. Is that true? Then you wait their reaction, and then you coming in a talk, And sometimes these people are just alone, you know. They're feeling lonely, isolated. And sometimes it really, when you're a nice person, it can help when you're talking to them and try to make them understand what you love about a cigar, why you are smoking. And sometimes, what I did in the past, one or two times, is, you know what, invite them. They're feeling lonely. Go over to them, say hello, and say, you know what, when I'm doing my next barbecue, for example, come over. We have a steak together, a sausage, spare ribs, whatever. Come over, we have a chat. And then when you're together with them and they're feeling kind of invited, they will ease down a little bit, and you don't necessarily to making a friendship with them, but when they're feeling you're kind of buddies, they will not longer complain. So invite them in your life. I mean, not like every day, but be friendly. Say hello, say goodbye. How you doing? How's your day? How's your dog? How's life? When you're doing a barbecue and they're not there, leave a spare, bring them over, stuff like this. The usually neighborhood stuff. Even if you, on the first glance, you don't like them, try to be friendly. That's the best. That's sometimes it's not so smart to attack people. It's not so smart and it's not nice. So if you are always friendly, for me personally, that is the best strategy you can develop. Be yourself, be friendly, try to talk to people, even if you think it makes no sense. Do it over and over again. It makes you feel better, and it will produce in your neighborhood a better atmosphere, because when you're an asshole, all the people think you're an asshole. Chances are high that they will group together and getting on your nerves. So if you're always friendly and a nice guy, and you know what I figured? Most cigar smokers are nice guys. So just, it's simple as that. Be friendly, be nice, talk to people. Starting a conversation. You can figure out things. Because it's not nice. I've had this a couple of times that when you're starting to feel bad, when you want to smoke a cigar and you feel bad because neighbors are pissed about that, that's not a good situation, you know, because you want to enjoy your cigar. And in order to enjoy your cigar, you have to produce a good environment where you can enjoy your cigar, especially in your own home, in your garden, or wherever. So, and sometimes when it's really that's when it looks like the situation is out of control, sometimes it can also help when you're having a little break and go somewhere else. For example, here in the lounge, you know, it's a cigar lounge. Everybody's smoking here, over here. So when you have the feeling it's too much, go to a place where you're allowed to smoke and where you're around with like-minded people, with other cigar smokers. That can help. Take a break, go somewhere else, and then you're refreshed. You recharge your batteries. You're coming back, and you're ready for the fight again. By the way, today I'm smoking a Patron Classic 3000 Maduro. Good cigar. Pretty good to enjoy together with your coffee. So, maybe you are lucky enough to have just good neighbors. I hope so, really, because they can be a pain in the ass. If not, maybe my few suggestions or my strategies were somehow helpful. I hope so. If you have other strategies, leave a comment, let me know. Maybe we'll make another episode. If you have a nice story about your neighbors, let me know. Would love to hear it. Other than that, I hope you have a good cigar today. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Enjoy the weekend, or whenever you're watching this, enjoy the day, enjoy cigars, enjoy good life, living the good life, man. And try to ignore your neighbors if they are assholes, and be nice. See ya.